Hey everybody, this is episode 3 of JesusRantz. Today I'm going to talk about the opposite of my last video where we talked about church people. Today we're going to talk about people who are outside of the church, and not just them, but why they don't go to church or the reasons that they give me and probably you of why they don't. So I wrote down about 6. I'm sure there's a lot more, but these are the 6 that I'm going to go with for right now. If there's more, then maybe I know there's more, but then maybe I'll hit on those a little bit later. But today there's only 6. The first one is all churches want is money, and I've got this a few times just over the last couple months. And the first thing is churches need money to run. So, they just need it. And then a lot of the people on the outside, they want us to do all these things for the community, and they want us to reach out and give to the homeless and feed people and then give them clothes, and that takes money, right? Or donations or something. It has physical needs to it. So for you to say, you want one thing but you don't want the other, then it's doesn't really make sense. They kind of go hand in hand. So the churches need money to operate. And the second thing is it's biblical. It's a biblical principle to give money to the church, to your church that you belong to. It says that you need to give 10%, and it's not how do we say? It's not an option. It's not like if you'd like to, here's my advice, give 10%. No, it's you need to give 10%. It's just like thou shalt not lie. It's the same thing. They go together. The most talked about thing in the Bible is money. And I think that was surprising to me when I first heard it, that it's not love, and it's not grace, and it's not being saved, and it's not sin. It's money is the most talked about thing. So I think for a preacher to not speak about money or tithing wouldn't be biblical, and so that wouldn't be a preacher that I would want to listen to if he's not preaching about money. It's a hard subject, and I think that's why it's so hard for people to take that in, but it's a big deal, and if you think about it, half of your world probably revolves around money. I got a family, and as much as I don't want to think about money because it's the root of all evil, right, I think about it a lot. And so the Bible nailed it to speak about that so often, because you go to work for 8 hours a day to pay the bills, to make money. So it's something that's all around our lives, and money's not evil in itself. It's what you do with money. It's how money makes you feel, and how much stock you put into your money. But it is biblical to give your money, and so for Christians that's a part of it. If you happen to walk into a church and that's what they're preaching about that day, and then maybe you should still give that church a chance, because I doubt that's what they're preaching about every Sunday. But it is something that's a problem in this world, and that the Bible teaches that you need to give it up. And I think that's what frees you from the control of money. People all the time, I'll be sitting and we'll hang out, and they're like, oh, all I do is think about how I can make more money. And I'm like, that sucks. Like that's awful. That seems like it's not a life I would want to live. I want to be able to pour into my family, and I want to love on them and love on the people around me, and money's not something I want to worry about. That just sounds awful to me, but it is biblical. So for that excuse, I think then that's something that you should work on inside yourself, because it's biblical. So that's just like everything else, and that's what the church needs to run. You'd hate to go into a church that's really hot or really cold. You'd be mad and say, how come you don't pay your bill? Because no one's giving their money, because they think like you. Thank God they don't, right? The second one is church people are hypocrites. Everyone in there is a hypocrite, and I know a few people that go there, and you're probably right. No, you're probably right. You are right. Christians are hypocrites. Christian means, like I said in the last video, means like Christ, and none of us are. So that's already a bad start. That's hypocritical. But we're trying. We're trying to put on the image of Christ, and we're working hard, and we're failing. The good news for you is that we're hypocrites just like you. Right? Have you ever said, oh, I'm done drinking, or I'm done smoking, or anything like that, and then went back to it? Or, man, I just hate when people lie. I can't stand a liar, and then you lie? Congrats, you're a hypocrite. So you fit in. Welcome. So, we are hypocrites, but you're a hypocrite. And if we were all perfect, then you wouldn't fit in. You wouldn't be welcome there. You wouldn't be welcome here. So it's okay. It's okay that it's full of hypocrites, and that's why I started with the church people, though, is because we have stuff we need to work on, and we do. But at the same time, we're still working. We're still trying. If you're on the outside and you don't want to come in because we're hypocrites, then that's a very poor excuse. You don't want us to be perfect. If we were, you wouldn't fit in. You wouldn't be welcome here. But we are. We're sinners, just like you. And so that's why you're welcome here, because we know where you come from and we know your struggles. So don't use that as a reason. That's something that you need to work out with yourself again. Another thing is just a bunch of rules. I'll say the same thing I said. It's people hate when people are liars. Just as an example, I hate when people lie, and I don't like when people lie to me. And I'm sure you don't like when people lie to you. That's one of those rules. It would be nice if people didn't lie, right? It would be nice if people didn't steal and kill and all that stuff, right? So I don't see what the problem is with rules. The rules aren't to please God. Okay, God loves you no matter what. So that's not what it's about. It's not about pleasing God. It's not about getting, in a right standing with God, because you'll never be in a right standing with God unless Christ takes your place, because he's the only person with a right standing with God. So to use that, to say it's just a bunch of rules are awesome. You love rules, no matter what you think. You love rules. Whatever your rules are. My rules are take your shoes off when you come in the house. That's a rule, and I love it because I have to vacuum less and I have to shampoo less. But that's just a little petty example, but it's the same thing. Rules were made for us to be happy. That's why God put rules in the Bible, is for our happiness, not his. Okay? He's fine. He is the creator of the world. There's nothing you can do to take anything away from him. It's all his. So, the rules are for you. Rejoice in them. David talks about, I love your law because it's awesome. Because we all want those things. We would love to have a world that followed those rules. If we did, it wouldn't be so chaotic. It wouldn't be so nasty. There wouldn't be so much hurt. So to say that there's too many rules, it's that's foolish, because you love most of the rules. No matter what you say, even if you're still watching this, there's no way I love those rules. The next time someone lies to you and you get mad, don't, because you hate rules, right? No. You'll think about this right here. No, you love rules. You wish that person followed the rules and didn't lie to you. So don't use that. Another one is time. I don't have the time. I work on Sundays. Okay, I feel if you work on Sundays, that sucks. It's really hard to get to church, right? But there's a lot of churches that offer Saturday night services, or get together with your friends. Some church people, they get together. We get together. The men of my church, we meet the first Thursday of every month at night, and then we meet the third Saturday of every month at 7 in the morning. So there's times to get together. You can have a church family if you can't make it to church on Sundays. Okay, if you really truly love God, you'll make the time. You'll find the time. I would even say, maybe you should get a new job. Like it's hard. Well, I'm sure people are gonna be like, oh, I can't quit my job, my family, and this and that. But and I don't want you to lose your house, and I don't want you to lose your family. But I want you to be a servant of God. And whatever that takes, that's what you need to do. If there's a way you could work on Sundays and still get in touch with your church family, then I say do that. But if there's not, then maybe it is time to look for a new job. Maybe it's time to pray about that long and hard. And God will work for you. He will. That's what he does. Another one is they don't really care about people. The church only cares about the people inside the church. And I could understand why you feel that way. Because a lot of the time, the church people are worried about themselves, and that's right in some point, because they go to church all the time and they're still failing, and it's hard to, how can I help someone if I'm crumbling myself? But that's not what we're called to do. It never said you're going to be perfect and then you should help people, but we should be going out there to help people. But that's something that we struggle with. But there's also a lot of churches that go out there and they are doing stuff. Just because you don't see it on the news doesn't mean that they're not out there helping people. So maybe you should look deeper. There's a lot of people, I try to get people to come in and stay with me if they need help. I've offered it to people. Some people have come, some people haven't. It's not that we don't care about people. It's probably because you don't hang out with those people, so you don't know what those people are like. You don't know what those people do. So now you're judging those people off false accusations, which is probably what you don't like about church people, is that they judge you. No, we don't. If there is someone that does, then that's something that they need to work on. But we can't judge you because we're sinners. We've fallen hard. Just the only thing is that God helped us up. And we understand that God helped us up and that wasn't ourselves. The last thing I want to touch on is people have said, it's just about being a good person. If you be a good person, you'll get into heaven. That's the farthest thing from the truth. Okay? No matter how good you are on this earth, you could look into the Bible and see there's people that were better than you that didn't make it in. It says, there's a part in the Bible, it says, there's people that have gone and cast out demons in Jesus' name. They've cast demons out. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever done that? I doubt it. But I bet if it did happen, if I ever did it, I'd feel pretty pumped up. I'd be like, man, God loves me. But they say that, God, we've done all these things in your name. We've preached and we've cast out demons. And he says, depart from me, for I never knew you. So those people were just doing it for themselves. They're doing it for worldly pleasures. They did all these great things. They helped people. They cast out demons. They set people free from demonic oppression. Some people were controlled by demons, and they saved them from that. And they didn't get into heaven. So if you think because you're a nice person and you smile to people when they walk by that you're going to get in, it's wrong. It's not biblical. It has nothing to do with heaven or God. That's just your own thinking. So don't think that just because you're a good person you're going to get in. It's not how it works. And just like I said in my last video, don't think just because you go to church that you're getting into heaven either. It doesn't work that way. You're saved by grace through faith, and faith without works is dead. Okay, so it's all about loving God, putting your faith in Him, and acting on it. You could say, I believe in God, so I'm getting into heaven. No, you're not. Because the devil believes in God doesn't mean he's going to heaven, right? He knows that God exists. He even, professes it. He knows God's real. You look in the Bible, there's demonic, there's demons that say that, you are the Son of God. They're not going to heaven just because they say that. So it's not that. If you think that's it, then maybe you should get into church and listen to what the preacher has to say. That's pretty much all I want to say today. I hope you guys learned something today. I hope that maybe you can use some of these things as when you're talking to people. Don't be hard on these people. And if you're watching this video and you don't go to church and you're thinking I'm being too hard on you, I don't mean to. But I do want to stir in your heart a little bit. I do want to press on you a little bit because I want you to search within yourself and find what's really holding you back from going to church or being a part of the church family or bringing yourself to Christ. Because I don't want that for you anymore. I want the Holy Spirit to stir in you, to move you towards godliness and not away from it. Okay, you're either moving towards it or you're moving away from it. You're never standing still. So if you're standing still, then you're drifting away. You're being taken out. You have to press forward. It's a little bit harder. Not a little bit against the culture. It's a lot of bit against the culture. The culture's pushing you back. So if you stay still, the waves are going to take you out. Okay? So move forward. Press on. Even if it's difficult, it'll be worth it. I promise.